Well, let's talk about astral projection. Let's just out for a while for the rest of the morning. You're going to be in trance most of the rest of the morning here. I used to do this session a lot, and I like to do it. It's just that we haven't included it in the seminars for some time because the seminars have had more or less other directions. And I had several people ask me, "Why don't you do that again? It was so powerful." And I don't even really have much of a talk here in advance of the processes that I'm going to do, other than to tell you a couple of little quick stories. Maybe when I was first getting involved in all of this work, before anyone in the country had ever heard of a hypnosis tape, I was making hypnosis tapes and giving them to prisoners in Florence, Arizona, life-term prisoners, astral projection hypnosis tapes. We didn't label them on the front. I mean, they're just handwritten things. There's a relaxation tape or whatever, but they were to get out. And it was years later, through Richard Bach and through others, the story of Ed Morrell began to unfold. Now, I'm not going to go into that. That's a very long story. And it's been written about by Ruth Montgomery and myself and Alan Weissman and others. But I have all the memories of a man named Ed Morrell who got in a lot of trouble in California at the turn of the century. And he survived his time in prison through astral projection, through hypnosis. He became to self-hypnosis. He came to understand reincarnation and influenced Jack London, who later wrote about it. It goes on and on and on. It's a long story. It's a remote little part of California history, if you care to look into it. But I was just acting upon the concerns of my parallel life, which would be another way of looking at myself, I guess, in making those tapes. I was once in prison and got out that way, and another time, another place, and I wanted to help other people get out. So, and the stories I got back from some of the prisoners. I mean, they got all the time in the world to just lay there and play and develop a technique. They and were more than willing to do it. I have something here in my notes. When I teach once a year, we teach people to be hypnotists, to be past life regressionists, and we go into metaphysical philosophy, not in depth, but to a degree. And the participants receive a notebook. Here's what I have in that notebook about the four bodies of man. The four bodies of man simultaneously coincide in space. You are familiar with the physical body. The next highest on the second plane of existence, the etheric plane, is called the vital body. It maintains the physical pattern, but remains perfect and thus a model for the physical. It regulates healing. Next highest is the astral body, which is what we think of as our soul or spirit. We use it after physical death. It is also composed of atoms and so on, which of course are vibrating at the particular vibrational rate, as we talked about before. Just as the other bodies, but is of a much higher frequency. Our highest body is called the mental body. When you have evolved beyond the need of reincarnation onto the physical plane, you will use this body. We are all presently working towards the development of this body. Okay, now here again, you'll hear different names depending upon the organization, but metaphysical teachings pretty much right across the board talk in terms of the four bodies of man. It's one of those few areas where there appears to be very little disagreement. The idea, of course, here now today is exploring the concept of leaving the body. It's even in the Bible. St. Paul's first epistle to Corinthians says, there is a natural, physical body and there is a spiritual body. I think we leave our bodies at night when we go to sleep. I think we all astral project all the time. It's just that we do not consciously remember it. And I think that our own astral projections, again based upon a lot of years of taking people back into regressions and trying to tap this information, it seems to me that when we have the déjà vu experiences, they are more often explained by our astral projections while physically sleeping than by any memories of past lives. How many people in here have experienced déjà vu? Well, that's rather overwhelming, just about everyone. As an example, let's say 2 weeks ago you knew you were coming to Palm Springs for this gathering. And so maybe while you were out of your body at night, you projected here. And you looked around the hotel and you don't remember it. Woke up in the morning and that was it. But now you get here and you come around the corner of the hotel and you have, my God, a feeling of deja vu. Why? Because you astrally projected here before. And it rings that internal bell. I had one of the ladies in here yesterday was saying to me, I keep swinging and swaying. It's like I'm going like this as you're counting me down. How many people have either swayed like they're in a hammock or spun or flowed back and forth? Look at the show of hands on that. That's half the room. You're trying to get out of your body. Those of you that put up your hand, should be very easy for you to just slip right on out today. I have when I'm doing a very slow induction, I start to sway like I'm in a hammock. And pretty soon, if I just let it go, I seem to be leaving. Statistics are, I don't know if Scott Rogo, who will be talking tomorrow night, he'll probably have the very latest statistics on this, but a while back, I know it was pretty much agreed that 1 out of 20 people accidentally astral projects, finds themselves out of the body, and usually it's a fearful experience for them. At one time, I dated a girl, and every time at night, if she were to take Excedrin or 2 or 3 aspirins, pretty soon she'd be lying there, and before she'd go to sleep, she'd be up in the ceiling looking at herself, and it scared her to death. Didn't have any background in these things. And that was when I was first beginning to attain some awareness in this field. How many people in here feel that you have accidentally astral projected? Let me see a show of hands. Well, that's certainly more. Look at that. Look around. Leave them up. No, put your hands up and leave them up. Okay. A group of real weirdos in here, see? We all knew that before we came. Okay. Now we have astral projection and we have mind projection, which are absolutely 2 totally different things unless they're not. I don't know. I have wondered sometimes if there isn't some great meshing here, some overlap, and I'll read you some automatic writing in a moment that's kind of interesting in regard to that. My first experience with mind projection, or what you probably are more familiar with termed remote viewing, is the work that's been done over many, many years now at Stanford Research Institute. And the idea of being able to be in this place and project your mind to another place and perceive accurately what is going on. And my first experience with that came in 1976 when Richard Bach called out of the clear blue. He'd read my book, Born Again to Be Together, and he said, I'd like to come up and see you. I'd like to talk. Great, I'd love to have you. Come ahead. And at that time, he had just written Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It was very successful, and so Richard was hopping around all over the country, seeing people that he wanted to see, and further investigating the ideas that he'd begun to write about. And Jack Purcell was working with Richard at that time, keeping Richard organized. I don't know if many people are aware of that or not, but anyway, Richard came. He had on his way back from California, and he'd seen this little blurb on ABC television about the fact that everyone is psychic. And they, according to the TV blurb, they were proving it at Stanford. A couple of men named Targ and Putoff were proving it. And so Richard flew first to Stanford and said, I'm not psychic. Show me. Prove to me that I am psychic. And they said, okay, here's what we're going to do. And they described the tests that they were doing. They had, in a safe, they had hundreds of envelopes, and in each of the envelopes they had written locations, all within about, I think, an hour's driving time of Stanford. But there were hundreds of them, and each one was different, and each is sealed. And so what they did with the psychic is they would have a psychic come into the room and stay with one of the scientists. And then the other scientist would go over to the safe, he'd take out an envelope, he'd go down to his car, open it up, then drive immediately to that location. Then at the synchronized time, usually an hour later, the psychic was to do whatever he did for a technique. In some cases it would be to go into an altered state of consciousness. Other cases, I suppose, to just allow the impressions to come through, look into a crystal ball, do automatic writing, whatever technique they used. And so what they found is that all these psychics could do it. Nobody failed. Every psychic was able to accurately project his mind to another location. And if you saw that Nova special on PBS, it substantiated all of this beautifully. But anyway, in the early stages, the people decided we better get some non-psychics in here to test against all these psychics who are successfully complying with the test. And so they got non-psychic people from around Stanford to come in, and they explained to them, here's what you do. When the appointed time, you just close your eyes and you start trusting your thoughts and allow them to come in and tell us or write it down. What they find is almost in every case, the non-psychic people were able to remote view, to tell what was going on way over here. And so that's what Richard ran into when he got to Stanford. And they said, great, you're going to sit in the chair, and then at the appointed time, you'll start to receive impressions. And Bach's response, the way he explained it to me, because he came from Stanford to my home in Arizona at the time, he said, my reaction was, I'm just going to sit here, sure, and close my eyes and tell you where this guy's gone? He said, yeah, that's it. Out there in the rest of the world, they think you're crazy if you talk about being psychic. In here, we expect you to be psychic. We expect you to come through. And Richard said, I'm just going to be making it up. So fine, make it up. You'll be making up real things. Sure. So, someone came, took one of the scientists took the envelope, off he went. At the appointed time, now Richard has a background, I believe, in Silva, mind control. And so he went down to his center. He quickly altered his consciousness, the same way we're doing in here, a little different technique, but going to the same place. Went down, breathed deeply, and pretty soon these impressions begin to come through the blackness. And first he said, I saw this building, a very contemporary style building. And then I saw the roof, and I described the roof, and I described the doors, which were kind of unique, and I described them in detail. And then I had the feeling that I was inside this great room. And I thought maybe I'm in an airline terminal, because I saw this counter all the way along one end of the building inside. And I saw colored lights coming down from the ceiling. And there were other details, but this is what I can recall him telling me. And so when the scientist who had been at the location came back and heard what Richard had to say, the reaction was, of course, come on, you have to go and see where I was. And so they immediately went to the location. It was a church, and the unique architecture was just as Richard had described. The roof was this, as he described, the doors. When we got inside, the counter, of course, the counter was the altar all the way across one end of the church. He'd even seen a logo, a vertical logo behind the counter. And of course, the vertical corporate logo was the cross behind the counter. It's an interesting way I thought to view it. But there were no colored lights in the ceiling, but I guess there were stained glass insets, and the sun was shining brightly. So the effect was that of colored lights coming down into the chapel area of the church. He had successfully mind projected or remote viewed this location through the mind of another person. Now, Richard said he went back and he got a lot of other envelopes and opened them opened them up and drove to those locations, and he said, it's just no way. It was accurate. It worked, and he'd tried other things, and I began to use it in my seminars a lot in those days. And it always worked for me. Even under the undesirable conditions, I'd get 80-85% of every room successfully remote viewing. I'd send one of the people out to a distant location, and they would travel along. And sometimes all too accurately. If the person stopped to pee on the way, people in the room tapped in on that as well. So we learned some techniques and tricks about remote viewing. The remote viewing experiments were the best ways to convert skeptical reporters who would be sent by their paper. And of course, newspapers always have to write about this stuff with tongue-in-cheek or like that. And yet these guys had experienced some of these wild things, and they would not be able to go back and write these sarcastic stories. Now, how different is remote viewing from astral projection? A long time ago, it kind of fused for me. I don't really know. Runners. I'm not really running actively right now. I do a lot of running around the tennis court, and I do a lot of sprints, but for years I've been a distance runner. And a lot of runners, when running first started to become popular, back in the mid-'70s, I guess, the runners would report all of a sudden they're running down the road, and then they'd look above themselves, looking down at themselves. Saying, what in the world is that all about? But anyone who runs knows that you go into an altered state of consciousness once you're a conditioned runner. Eyes open, but deep altered state of consciousness. I always hit it a little over the 1 mile point, and I know trance levels, so boy, I could feel myself just and then nothing hurts and you fly. But of course, for those people who were deep level subjects, all of a sudden they just left. Float along watching themselves. Here's some automatic writing from a good friend in regard to this. I was doing a lot at the time. He said, ask about remote viewing and astral projection. And I'm not coming to any conclusions here. I'm just sharing the information that I have, and then we're going to do two. We're going to do a remote viewing session, and we're going to do an astral projection session. Here's the automatic writing in regard to astral projection. You do this every day in your dreaming state. It is a mental process through which you experience your true non-physical being. Astral projection, as a man-created concept, develops from the need of the individual who has become physically tied to this potential. In other words, he has to mentally create a duplicate of his physical body to travel along with him, to express in the non-physical dimension. This causes mental turmoil to the individual, for it limits his belief system, and he encounters difficulties, such as imagining being stuck on the other side, unable to return to his body. Therefore, he invents a silver cord to follow him around so he can follow it back. In so doing, he simply brings with him all the problems and restrictions of the physical world, instead of experiencing the non-physical as it should be experienced mentally. Somehow the individual feels that this act of bringing this mentally created duplicate of his body along gives the experience more validity. You do not need to create a physical duplicate. Mental projection is the same process. It is possible to project mental energies and experience within space and time other than where your body is located. Okay, I don't have any conclusions. You may, in regard to this. I have experienced what I feel to be astral projection. And I've also experienced what to me is mind projection or remote viewing. So what I would like to do right now is to do a session which we'll call remote viewing. And I'm going to use our beta to theta sound tape, which has been around for a long time now, but it is still the most effective tape of its kind, I think, in the world, because it is so powerful. It exactly aligns with the electrical charge, the cycle per second activity of your conscious mind, pulls your mind down into alpha, deep into alpha. It does it with a sound. Can it be done? Absolutely. It's been proven. Your mind will follow a sound or a flashing light that reduces from a cycle per second of beta into alpha down to the top of theta. The brainwave synchronizer is an instrument that does this with a photoc stimulator. This duplicates exactly, with a clicking sound, what the brainwave synchronizer does with the photoc stimulator. So it just clicks. Actually, the secret, although it took us forever to get it recorded perfectly, is clicks running at about 850 beats per minute, slowing down to 144 beats per minute over a period of 5 minutes' time. That's all it is. But what it does is it takes your mind and pulls it along. So I'm going to use that in conjunction with the altered state music that you're already familiar with. So you're going to hear a clicking sound. Actually, it was buried into some of the work that we did the other day, too. You're going to hear this clicking sound. At the same time, you hear the music, which you already respond to by becoming very mellow. Then, about 5 minutes into the sound, you will be at an alpha level of consciousness. I've got a stack of letters like this from teachers around the country who are using nothing but this tape with their wild classes, especially with disturbed children. The kids just, om out. There were some stories in Black Belt magazine a while back where I used this with beginning karate students and used it as a way to teach, to accelerate skill, to learn the moves faster. So it's very powerful, but don't get stuck on that. Just mellow out, purposeless purpose. Don't try. But what I'm going to do now is I want you to project to a location other than where we are here in Palm Springs in a ballroom. Maybe go home. Go see your mother. Go to your bathroom and find out what colors or towels are hanging there right now. Then go out and call your husband and see if it's true. Go find out what color car is lined up in the parking lot next to the furthest light post. Go see a good friend. And then later on today, call them up and find out, were you really doing that with Sam when I projected to... We are talking about trust. Now, a lot of real esoteric, over-the-edge metaphysical people will say, you can't do that unless somebody gives you permission. Bullshit. You can go anywhere you want to, anytime. It's trust. It's absolute trust. Just trust your mind. And if the impressions don't start all on their own, start to make them up. And pretty soon they'll take off on their own and you realize you're not making them up. So be willing to do that. So, okay, if I can get the guys to help me get everything going here, you decide who you're going to go visit or where you're going to go visit. All right?
The tape you are about to watch is extremely powerful, incorporating visual and verbal hypnosis, plus audio and video subliminal suggestions. Although you will feel relaxed, most people do not realize they are in an eyes-open, altered state of consciousness when the countdown is complete. You will probably feel as you normally do while watching television, but your mind will be functioning at an alpha level and subconsciously receptive to suggestion. Now you may close your eyes at any time while viewing the tape and continue to receive the full value of the verbal suggestions and audio subliminals. But you will miss the visual subliminal suggestions which are flashed on the screen. At the end of the tape, you will be awakened with positive suggestion. But if for any reason you need to awaken before this, simply count yourself up from 1 to 5 and say the words, wide awake. All right. You are now perfectly comfortable, and it's time to begin to watch the screen. Soften your focus and keep your eyes on the center of the screen. Breathe deeply and relax completely. Breathe deeply and relax completely. Take a deep breath in and hold it for as long as you comfortably can. And then let the breath slowly out through slightly parted lips. And when you think the breath is all the way out, contract your stomach muscles and push it even further out and further out. Then repeat the process. And as you do, you feel yourself just begin to let go and relax, relax, relax. You're breathing deeply and relaxing completely and allowing the quietness of spirit to come in. Slow down your thoughts. When external thoughts come into your mind, simply brush them aside and return your attention to the screen and the sound of my voice. As you breathe deeply and relax completely. Breathing deeply and relaxing completely. So relaxed and so at ease, so relaxed and so at ease. And in just a moment, I'm going to begin to relax your body one part at a time. And as I do, you can accelerate the process by mentally sending relaxing signals to that part of your body. So let's begin now with the toes of your feet. And the relaxing power is coming into the toes of both of your feet at the same time. It's moving right on down into the ball, into your arches, into your heels, and right on up to your ankle. Completely relaxed. Completely relaxed. And now feel the relaxing power moving up your legs to the knees, relaxing all the muscles as it goes, and moving on up your legs now to your thighs and to your hips, permeating every cell and every atom. And the relaxing power now comes into the fingers of both of your hands. Feel your hands relaxing. And feel the relaxing power move on up into your forearm. Relaxing your forearm. And on up now into your upper arms, just completely relaxing your upper arms. And your fingers and hands and forearms and upper arms. And now, just completely relax. And the relaxing power now moves on down into the base of your spine. Feel the warmth in the base of your spine and feel it begin to move very slowly up your spine, up your spine, up your spine, and into the back of your neck and shoulder muscle. And the back of your neck and shoulder muscles are now loose and limp, loose limp, just completely relaxed. And the relaxing power now moves on up the back of your neck and into your scalp, relaxing your scalp. Feel your scalp relaxing, and it's now draining down into your facial muscle. Your eyes are relaxed and tired and heavy, but you keep them open and focus softly upon the screen. Your facial muscles are relaxing. Your jaw is relaxed. Allow a little space between your teeth, and your throat is relaxed. Your entire body is now relaxed all over in every way, and all tension is gone from your body and mind. And as you continue to watch the screen, I want you to imagine yourself going into the screen, into the screen, into the screen. As you go down, 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 deeper and deeper into a relaxing level of mind, deeper and deeper as I count backwards from 7 to 1, letting go of the physical and going down, down, down into receptive mental realms. Number 7. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 6. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 5. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 4. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 3. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 2. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 1. And you are now very open and receptive. Your body is going to sleep, but your mind is awake and alert on all levels. We are removing the filters that normally separate you from subconscious and superconscious awareness. And you are deep. But let's go down even deeper. Number 7. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 6. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 5. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 4. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 3. deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 2. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 1. And you are now very, very deep. And I want to give you a self-releasing suggestion. If at any time you desire to awaken to full beta consciousness, simply count yourself up from 1 to 5 and say the words, wide awake. You're in control and can awaken yourself at any time. And now, as new impressions appear, continue to focus softly upon the center of the screen and take a deep, deep breath. And as you let it out slowly, imagine your body relaxing as it's never relaxed before. And now, as the new impressions appear, you'll begin to hear another sound coming in. Now I want you to become the sound. You can perform this remote viewing exercise with your eyes open or closed. And to demonstrate, as you listen closely to the sound and watch the screen, imagine yourself walking up to the front door of your apartment or house. Now perceive every detail of the walk up to the door and the details of the door and entrance area. Do this now while I am quiet for a few moments. All right. I'm sure you understand how it works. Subjective perceptions can be observed as fantasy-like impressions, even with your eyes wide open. They can also come in as thoughts, feelings, and impressions. To successfully project your mind to another location, you must simply trust the impressions that come into your mind, regardless of how they are perceived. And now, as another example of how to perceive impressions, close your eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes. And now, perceive your bathroom at home. See it very vividly in your mind. And the first question is, where are you in relationship to the bathroom? Are you standing in the doorway looking in? Or are you already in the bathroom? All right, now look around and orient yourself. Place all the main objects in the room: the tub or shower, the toilet, the wash basin, where your towels are hanging. Perceive these things vividly. What color towels are hanging there now? And are they hanging neatly, or are they just tossed over the rack? And look down at the floor. What is the floor made of? Carpeting, tile, hardwood? Perceive the color and the texture. And now look around and see where your toothbrush is. All right, again, you are perceiving impressions through the blackness of your closed eyes. Perceiving is a more accurate description of the process than seeing.
And now you can keep your eyes closed or open them, whichever you prefer. And while I am quiet for a while, think about where you desire to mind project. If you desire to project to a specific person, capture the essence of that person in your mind. How they look, how they move, what they sound like, everything. And I'll give you time to do this, and then I'll return to direct you into the experience. All right. You have become the sound. And it's time to project yourself to another location. You do have the power and ability to mentally or astrally project. You will project to a person or location away from the one you are now experiencing. And you will be fully aware of what is transpiring there. After you're gone for a few minutes, the sound will fade away and I'll call you back. So now be relaxed, be centered, and on the count of 3 you will project to another location. Number 1, number 2, number 3. and it's now time to return. So come on back now, remembering everything you have just experienced. On the count of 3, you'll be back in your body, relaxed and remaining in a deep, altered state of consciousness. Number 1, coming on back now, returning. Number 2, coming on back and remembering everything. And number 3, you are now back in your body, and in just a moment I'm going to wake you up. On the count of 5, you will awaken with your head clear, thinking and acting with calm self-assurance, feeling glad to be alive, and remembering everything you just experienced. You will feel at peace with yourself, the world, and everyone in it. So, number 1, you're returning, and you sense an expanding spiritual light within. Number 2, you're returning and at peace with all life. Number 3, sense the balance and harmony. Number 4, recall the situation in the room. And number 5, wide awake, open your eyes and feel good. You will probably want to turn off this videotape to give yourself time to make notes about the experience you have just completed. The next session is astral projection, and it will begin in 1 minute. The astral projection session will use the same video induction as on remote viewing. The same way of perceiving impressions also applies. But when the induction is complete and the new visual impressions begin, a hypnagogic sound vibration of 6 to 7 cycles per second will begin. This sound will assist you to achieve and maintain the ideal mental level for astral projection. So now, breathe deeply and relax completely. Breathe deeply and relax completely. The tape you are about to watch is extremely powerful, incorporating visual and verbal hypnosis, plus audio and video subliminal suggestions. Although you will feel relaxed, most people do not realize they are in an eyes-open, altered state of consciousness when the countdown is complete. You will probably feel as you normally do while watching television, but your mind will be functioning at an alpha level and subconsciously receptive to suggestion. Now you may close your eyes at any time while viewing the tape and continue to receive the full value of the verbal suggestions and audio subliminals. But you will miss the visual subliminal suggestions which are flashed on the screen. At the end of the tape, you will be awakened with positive suggestion. But if for any reason you need to awaken before this, simply count yourself up from 1 to 5 and say the words, wide awake. All right. You are now perfectly comfortable, and it's time to begin to watch the screen. Soften your focus and keep your eyes on the center of the screen.
Breathe deeply and relax completely. Breathe deeply and relax completely. Take a deep breath in and hold it for as long as you comfortably can. And then let the breath slowly out through slightly parted lips. And when you think the breath is all the way out, contract your stomach muscles and push it even further out and further out. Then repeat the process. And as you do, you feel yourself just begin to let go and relax, relax, relax. You're breathing deeply and relaxing completely and allowing the quietness of spirit to come in. Slow down your thoughts. When external thoughts come into your mind, simply brush them aside and return your attention to the screen and the sound of my voice. As you breathe deeply and relax completely. Breathing deeply and relaxing completely. So relaxed and so at ease, so relaxed and so at ease. And in just a moment, I'm going to begin to relax your body one part at a time. And as I do, you can accelerate the process by mentally sending relaxing signals to that part of your body. So let's begin now with the toes of your feet. And the relaxing power is coming into the toes of both of your feet at the same time. It's moving right on down into the ball, into your arches, into your heels, and right on up to your ankle. Completely relaxed. Completely relaxed. And now feel the relaxing power moving up your legs to the knees, relaxing all the muscles as it goes, and moving on up your legs now to your thighs and to your hips, permeating every cell and every atom. And the relaxing power now comes into the fingers of both of your hands. Feel your hands relaxing and feel the relaxing power move on up into your forearm, relaxing your forearm. And on up now into your upper arms, just completely relaxing your upper arms. And your fingers and hands and forearms and upper arms. And now, just completely relaxed. And the relaxing power now moves on down into the base of your spine. Feel the warmth in the base of your spine and feel it begin to move very slowly up your spine, up your spine, up your spine, and into the back of your neck and shoulder muscle. And the back of your neck and shoulder muscles are now loose and limp, loose limp, just completely relaxed. And the relaxing power now moves on up the back of your neck and into your scalp, relaxing your scalp. Feel your scalp relaxing, and it's now draining down into your facial muscle. Your eyes are relaxed and tired and heavy, but you keep them open and focus softly upon the screen. Your facial muscles are relaxing. Your jaw is relaxed. Allow a little space between your teeth, and your throat is relaxed. Your entire body is now relaxed all over in every way, and all tension is gone from your body and mind. And as you continue to watch the screen, I want you to imagine yourself going into the screen, into the screen, into the screen. As you go down, 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 deeper and deeper into a relaxing level of mind, deeper and deeper as I count backwards from 7 to 1, letting go of the physical and going down, down, down into receptive mental realms. Number 7. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 6. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 5. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 4. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 3. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 2. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 1. And you are now very open and receptive. Your body is going to sleep, but your mind is awake and alert on all levels. We are removing the filters that normally separate you from subconscious and superconscious awareness. And you are deep. But let's go down even deeper. Number 7. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 6. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 5. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 4. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 3. deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 2. Deeper, 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 down, down, down. Number 1. And you are now very, very deep. And I want to give you a self-releasing suggestion. If at any time you desire to awaken to full beta consciousness, simply count yourself up from 1 to 5 and say the words, wide awake. You're in control and can awaken yourself at any time. And now, as new impressions appear, continue to focus softly upon the center of the screen and take a deep, deep breath. And as you let it out slowly, imagine your body relaxing as it's never relaxed before. And you are now relaxed and at ease and centered upon the goal of astral projecting. You are at peace and feel in balance and in harmony. A quietness of spirit permeates your body and mind, and we are now going to begin to work together to assist you to leave your body. And to begin, imagine your feet growing 2 inches taller or longer right out through the soles of your feet. Now imagine this very, very vividly now. Growing 2 inches taller. Fantasize it. Imagine it. Sense it happening now. All right. Stop trying and return to your normal height. And we're now going to repeat the process. Only this time you are going to grow 12 inches taller or longer, right through the soles of your feet. So go ahead now and imagine yourself growing 12 inches taller or longer, right through the soles of your feet. Fantasize it. Imagine it. Sense it happening. All right, now stop trying and return to your normal height. And now, let's grow the other way. This time 2 inches through the top of your head. So sense it happening. You are beginning to grow 2 inches now right out through the top of your head. Fantasize it. Sense it happening. Imagine it now. And now stop trying and return to your normal height. And now let's try it again, only this time you are going to grow 12 inches right out through the top of your head. So go ahead now and grow 12 inches out the top of your head. Sense it happening. Fantasize it. Imagine it.
And now, stop trying and return to your normal height. And go ahead and relax and breathe deeply. And now, once again, extend your height, this time to 24 inches right out through the top of your head. So go ahead, sense it happening. Allow it to happen. You are growing 24 inches right out through the top of your head. Fantasize it. Imagine it. And visualize this growth of 24 inches. And now hold the growth. Do not return. I repeat, do not return to your normal size. Although you don't consciously realize it, you are beginning to let go of your physical body. And to continue the process, imagine your fingers and hands floating up. Just floating on up now. And these are your astral fingers, hands, and forearms. And they're floating on up. Your physical body remains stationary, but your fingers and hands and forearms of your astral body begin to float on up and out. And your astral body is sliding up and out of your physical body. Relax now and flow with the experience. And now imagine yourself out of your body and looking back at your physical body. Imagine this very, very vividly. And now realize that you're becoming lighter and lighter. And you're beginning to float upward now. Upward. Upward. Right on upward through the roof. And now imagine this very, very vividly as you float on up through the roof and continue to perceive the experience as you ascend into the air and travel away, away, away. Away, away. It's time to come on back now. Come on back. Come on back. It's time to come back and return to your physical body. So come on back and slide back into your physical body now. That's it. Imagine yourself sliding back into your physical body. And on the count of 3, your astral body will have reintegrated with your physical body, and you will remain in a relaxing, altered state of consciousness. So number 1, you're fully reintegrating with your physical. Number 2, reintegrating. Number 3, you are now back in your physical body, and in just a moment I'm going to wake you up. You will awaken remembering absolutely everything you just experienced. On the count of 5, you will open your eyes and be wide awake, fully alert, thinking and acting with calm self-assurance, and feeling glad to be alive. And you will awaken at peace with yourself, the world, and everyone in it. Number 1, you're coming on up, and you sense an expanding spiritual light within. Number 2, you're coming on up and at peace with all life. Number 3, sense the balance and harmony. Number 4, recall the situation in the room. And number 5, wide awake. Wide awake. Open your eyes and feel good. Number 5, wide awake.